Hi from Poland. I've got my little wind-up radio here that gets very random stations, and basically whenever we get reception we just leave it on. There's lots of talking, and then every now and then we'll have a song, which can be quite surprising. Like we were listening to something that was talking about politica and things, and then suddenly it was hi ho, it's off to work we go, and we had the full Seven Dwarfs song. Never know what you're going to get. Rather similar. That's sort of the keynote to our whole trip, really. We drove into Poland yesterday to a campsite, the only one that was open in the area, and it turned out to be the only nudist naturist facility in Poland, and opened in 2002, and it's got quite a reputation. And all I focused on was the fact that it said camping with sauna and swimming, and I thought, oh, that sounds my sort of thing. So we arrived there very late, in the dark, had a hilarious time trying to get there because SatNav we didn't quite get it wasn't our fault, but the reference we were given, the numbers weren't quite right. It was 0.7999999, and you can't program that, and I knew when I saw that, I thought, oh, this is going to be tricky, and it was. It took quite a while to get there, but anyway, we got there. These places are always up very steep hills in the dark, always even more scary, and it was a closed road. So when we had to go onto the closed road, it went over a big, huge bump, and the thing lurched, just in sort of shades of the Breaking Bad motorhome bumping across the desert, you know. So we got up there, and it was opened by this old Polish gardener who was around, who was really friendly, but he only had 2 English words, and they were Ealing Broadway, because that's where he'd been. And he was so nice, and I went out to check it all out, and he sort of talked to me a little bit, you know, in Polish, intercepted with Ealing Broadway, just showed me where to go. And then I went off to talk to the owner, and when I came back, I said to Martin, you know, did you chat with him? He said, oh, we chatted about Ealing Broadway, which is quite funny. But anyway, it wasn't really until the next morning we realised the full extent of the sort of nudist theme of this place. Not that there was anyone there at all, it was just us, although the owner always came to the door in a dressing gown. I wouldn't have been slightly bit bothered about this, but it's not Martin's cup of tea. But the guy said, oh, well, it's not mandatory now because there's no one else around. But if there had been, then we would have expected you to take your clothes off too. So we were able to use the swimming pool and sauna, which was just gorgeous. And they've made such an amazing facility. It's on a hillside, and they've done lovely little areas and barbecue places, and the whole place is just lovely. If you're into that sort of thing, do consider seriously. It's 60 kilometers from Krakow, which is really cheap to fly to, and everything is so cheap in Poland. So we really enjoyed staying there. In fact, I tried to invite them to dinner. I did invite them to dinner, but I don't know if the message didn't get across or they didn't particularly want to come. I really wanted to meet them and talk to them about their life story. They were a Dutch-Polish couple, and I particularly wanted to talk to her because we'd been reading so much, hearing so much of this horrible Polish history, that I wanted to talk to someone who'd had parents and grandparents who'd been through it. But sadly, they didn't come. For their own reasons, but I did make a 3-course lovely meal in case they came, because they didn't let me know that they weren't coming. They just said they'd think about it, and then they didn't come. So I'll tell you about the meal at the end. But before I do, I realised I hadn't really told you the places to eat at in Prague. I'd always got sidetracked. So first of all, let me tell you about the Prague dumplings. Apologies if I've done this already. I don't think I have. I know I've talked about it, but I don't think I posted the video. The first time we had them, we thought they were just normal sliced white bread, which I was a bit disappointed in, because when you're expecting white bread, it gives you already a feeling about it. But when I knew later on that they were actually the special herby dumplings, then it was quite different. They're basically just a big dumpling with lovely herbs in, sliced, so you get your pieces, and you can have it with a sauce or sweet, with, like we had it with plums in it, and that was absolutely gorgeous too. So that's something that's worth remembering if you're in this part of the country, this part of the world. Have Czech dumplings. You won't regret them. And I found a vegan recipe. I'm going to try and make them. I don't know why English people never really got into dumplings. I mean, they are there, aren't they, occasionally in stews and things, but it's not something we have very much, and it's such a nice carbohydrate on your plate rather than potato or rice. It's a nice alternative. Anyway, the 3 places that I want to recommend that we went to in Prague. The first place was called MyRawCafe. And if Jakob is listening, I do apologise, because he is he worked there and psyched himself up to give an interview, which was lovely. And then when I was trying to upload it, I don't know how I did it. I deleted it. So I'm so sorry. Jakob will be watching this, and he was telling me that they take great pride in this raw place. They have a full extensive menu and specials every day. And what really caught my attention was the all-day full raw English breakfast that's had almost everything you could think on it, and that sounded amazing. We didn't actually eat there. We just had a lovely cake there and a cup of tea and coffee, because we were trying to find it and got too hungry and caved in and went somewhere else, which was quite different. But I do recommend MyRawCafe, which is in the old part of Prague, and you won't regret it. The place that we caved in and went to claimed to be vegetarian, fast food Indian outside, so we thought, okay, that will do. And we went in, and it was called Dhabi Beas, Dhabi, new word, Beas, and I do have a picture of it, and it's odd. It's a fast food atmosphere. You have a metal tray with different you know, dishes in the tray that you fill up, and you pay by the weight. So let's just get a picture to show you. That's what I have. There wasn't that much vegan. There was much more vegetarian. Martin had a lovely meal. The vegan stuff was okay, but if you notice that looks like white bread there, that's actually the dumpling, and that was gorgeous. So it was a nice meal. It was okay. I think wherever I go anywhere and Martin has a better meal than me, I always think, But then we go to so many vegan places where, you know, he's obliged to. We are more and more, I think, aiming at going somewhere where we can get the full spectrum of cuisine for him. And there are some vegan options, but we'll mix and match, you know. So that was good. Dhabi Beas. Oh, talking about bees, there's a bee in here. Pip's just Leslie's cocked his head up. And the other place we went to in Prague was called Raw Deli, which we spent a long time finding. This was one of those typical sort of space capsules-y type little small, very small places in a shopping centre, which had some exquisite things like avocado tart and gourmet food. It was sort of a bit lacking character really, but raw and okay if you're in that part. So Raw Deli, quite nice food at least anyway. And then there's a couple of other things I was going to show you that I've done. We made a muesli the other day, and I don't know if you're like me, but when you're near the end of a packet you think, well, I'll just chuck the whole lot in, and so that's what I did. And in fact I made such a lot that I didn't have enough containers to store it in. What I've started doing is buying a big bag of their muesli, which is just oats with apple or nuts or something, and then using that as a base. I can't find it now. But anyway, oh, here it is. I put a mug in the picture to give you a bit of scale, and I just had so much. And I did the same as before, which was to melt some molasses, maple syrup, peanut butter, hemp seed, I think some coconut, yeah, the raw coconut that I'd made, and make a big juice with it, and then just stir it all into the muesli with the nuts and seeds and dried fruit. And I soaked the raisins and cranberries first to make them plump, and once again a really lovely muesli. And then the other thing I was just going to show you was my breakfast today. I said I'd show you you know, sort of, it wasn't really a disaster. I think the problem was the bread I'd got didn't soak up the aquafaba very well. I was trying to recreate French toast, which I have done before. It all fell to pieces in the pan, but that's perhaps because I didn't have loads of chemicals holding it together. It was a good idea and it should have worked, and I melted some smoothie fruit on top and put little bits of stevia drops on it just to make it a bit sweeter. But that actually didn't taste very nice, but it should have done. I don't know why. The other thing I just wanted to mention, which isn't vegan related at all, was when we were at this sauna place. It was the All Souls Day holiday in Czech Republic, and they must have had some singing going on in the church, because we had some lovely music coming up the valley, and that was really, really nice. So back to this meal, which I made for the owners of the resort, Naturist Resort, that's what it's called. who, for whatever reasons, which I'm sure were very good, didn't come. We started off, and we enjoyed anyway. We thought, well, we'll have a jolly good 3-course meal, and we'll have just lots of leftovers. So I prepared for it, and it gave us a good excuse to clean the van as well. So we started off with an exquisite juice of apple, carrot and lime, which I've never done before. Lovely combo. Then for hors d'oeuvre we had baba ganoush, which is just roasting up the aubergine and then blending it with quite a bit of garlic, lemon juice, a bit of tamari, and then I put cannelloni beans in to give it a bit of substance, with crudité of celery, carrot and cucumber, and flatbreads. And then for the main course we had Jamie Oliver's lovely vegan chilli, which should be done with sweet potato roasted, but I didn't have that, so I used butternut squash, really nice. And for pudding I did my signature cashew cream, and I blended in fresh raspberries and fresh mango, which made it quite an interesting colour, and then I had pieces of mango and raspberry on top, and I was going to sprinkle cacao nibs on top, but I forgot. So that was a lovely meal we had recently, and the fridge is absolutely packed with chilli, which was going to last for a long time. I can't freeze it because the freezer is full of fibre, so I'm going to have to get rid of that at some point. Anyway, here we are in a lovely lake hotel complex which allows campers. It's off season, but they very kindly opened it for us, so we're the only ones on the campsite, and it's a very luxurious hotel with an ice rink and sauna, swimming, which we might use later on, and very posh. We find, although the countryside and the villages and the towns all seem a bit run down and poor, every now and then you'll get a lovely enclave of influx of money and something really posh and luxurious like this Hotel Movo. And of course we're just in the campsite, and the other place we saw was a very posh little ski village, which we saw by mistake because we programmed our GPS wrongly and went the wrong way. We save all our campsites under favourites on my phone, and I just picked the wrong one, and I picked the one that we're going to go to after we leave Krakow, so we suddenly entered Slovakia and we hadn't meant to at all. It was quite funny. But on the way back we did spot this ski resort, and I think the ski slopes must be quite low because the mountains weren't very high, but I'm sure it's quite fun if you happen to be in the area and you're a skier. So I'll show you what it's like. It's started to rain now, so it's all a little bit miserable, but that's out of one window. That's a bridge over to the lake, and it's all a bit rainy now, not very nice at all, but we will go for a walk. We might go for an ice skate, or we might, Martin doesn't want me to go for an ice skate in case I break my leg, which I quite understand. I might go for a sauna instead. Mind you, I could fall over in the sauna, couldn't I? So tomorrow we're heading off to Krakow, the capital of Poland, to meet our daughter who's flying out for a city break. It's going to be great fun, and after that we'll head off into Slovakia. So next time I should be reporting on where to eat vegan in Krakow. Bye!